Hello and welcome to Sports by Compian Pick'em Edition, Week 16. Joined here by both my co-hosts are here in the house. They're here among us. Dan is traveling to be at his house, and still graces us with his presence. Dan, the man himself, tied for first place. How are you, sir?
I got excited when I saw that Taylor and I went opposite on that Detroit Denver game, but then we went different ways on the Titans Houston game, so we closed back into being tied again. So being in the lead for 24 hours was nice.
And then we have Cory, who snuck into this league a little bit late, but has just been making amazing picks since being here, right there on my heels. Cory, how are you today, sir?
Doing fantastic. Turns out I'm much more effective whenever I know how to actually pick the teams instead of just looking at the teams and being like, that's a team I think is going to win, and then not
Mm,
making the pick. It's best that way.
I
You
like it.
gotta
I like it. Well,
gotta make
anyway,
that click.
let's hop into this. Gotta make
Yeah,
the
gotta
click,
make
as
it.
they say. Boys, we were starting off with a Thursday night game. We got the Saints. We got the Rams. It's in LA, and I'm picking the Rams here not only because I think they're going to win this, because I hope they freaking win this. Matthew Stafford at home, I think he's going to find a way to get past that Saints defense, and I don't know what they're doing on offense. They're still kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Saints.
Yeah, no,
I think that they're just a random hobo team, and I think the Rams have been looking real dangerous. It's my professional analysis of the situation.
Down with the Saints.
Take that, Saints, you random hobos, you.
Terrible organization. What were you saying, Dad?
yeah, no. We talked about it on Sports by Copying yesterday, and the Bills and the Rams are kind of two teams that are getting hot at the right time. So I think the Rams have the pieces to make a run at the end of the season. So I think they'll take care of the Saints at home.
All right, I agree. Well, let's move right on from that one. That's Thursday Night Football. It's kicking off right away. 2-7-17 is going to battle, but a lot of people picking the Rams for that one. Next, we got Cincinnati, and we got the Steelers. Let's just not even talk about Frankie's bet in this one. It's just too sad. But,
Yeah,
we got the Cincinnati Jake Browning coming into town. Cory thinks some stuff. We'll let him say his thoughts, but I think Jake Browning gets it done again. This guy's an absolute stud. I don't think that. I think he's going to get these Bengals to the playoffs, and we'll see what he does once he gets there.
yeah. I mean, he's looked good. He's carried them well, um, and he played the Steelers pretty well last time. They only lost by 6 a couple weeks ago, so I think they've definitely progressed for the better. I think though this might be the first game that Kenny Pickett is eligible to return for. So I don't know what the reality of him playing in this game is, but that could be a different wrinkle because they're a much different offense with Kenny behind center versus having Mitch Trubisky. So
I
that's
think
something we might have
Rudolph
to
would
track.
start.
Or
I
Rudolph,
think
yeah, like basically if Kenny comes back like he's eligible to this week, I think we might have to look at it in a different way.
it's fair.
So
Well,
I'm
if he does, I don't know if they're
I'm
playing
still
him
going
though.
Bengals though.
Yeah.
I'm going Steelers because I'm keeping the Steelers hope alive. I think, they got 3 games left to get 2 wins, so they need this one. I think it's a divisional game where these guys all know each other very well. So the Steelers' offense is definitely fucking up, but their Steelers' defense has been pretty solid. They're bringing that against a backup who you got to imagine his backup magic is running out. He's had 2 really good games, and now I feel like backups will kind of peter out a little bit. So I'm hoping that Jake Browning isn't as dominant as he has been, and the Steelers can, surprise us, bring this one home.
But I like don't feel though that he's like the typical backup story that we've been seeing because like he's
No, he's
been
like actually
in
good,
that
which is
system.
annoying.
Well, yeah, but like my thing is he's been in that system for 3 years, So it's not that he like just came on the team like a Dobbs or some other ones we've seen. He has a lot of credible time in the system.
Right.
Well, what I'll say, Court, is I don't understand how the Steelers are going to win if their receivers don't want to play. And there's a couple clips kicking around the internet of George Pickens and the boys just showing less than impressive effort, man. Like, you cannot have that show up as NFL film.
The lack of
what? How did that show up on NFL film, kid? You know, man, I think there's a lack of appreciation some of these kids have. Like, dude, whatever the situation is that you think you need to be doing this and whining, bro, you are making millions of dollars to be in the NFL. People would kill to be in the position you're in, but you're there because of your God-gifted talent. I'm sure you worked hard for it, don't get me wrong, but guess what? Everyone else is fucking working hard too, and they didn't have that kind of God-gifted talent, and there you are, fucking up, not throwing a block, acting like a little bitch. Fucking embarrassment for the NFL, this fucking receiver group.
But I think they've rightfully so. They're getting called out by several mediums. So I think unless they're like total jerk offs, they gotta start actually doing stuff. You know,
I don't know, man. We've seen some real jerk offs coming out of that wide receiver room from the Steelers.
I don't know what's going on in that room, man. It's fucking weird.
The team's checking out. Let's be honest.
It's fucking
does feel like that.
Embarrassing, and they're checking out when they're 7-9, like still a chance to go to the playoffs. It's like, what is wrong with this team? They're checking out on Mike Tomlin too. God, the whole thing gets me so riled up. I can barely handle it.
Being the team that breaks Mike Tomlin's streak has got to be like going 0-16. Like, you don't want to be on that team, man. You don't want to be the guy that's on that team.
And it's not the whole team. You see Jalen Waddle out there, like, on the play where you see Perkins just decided not to block. Like, Jalen Waddle's running through, like, 3 Colts. It's like, throw that block, and maybe your man has a chance to get into the end zone, dude.
Yeah, especially since he's just such a big physical guy that, like, can do it, you know? Like, last year they were praising him for his blocking, where he would literally just walk up and just, like, throw the guy. I was like, holy shit, this guy's fun to watch. Look at him.
Complete embarrassment. Anyway, I'm off Team Steelers because of that nonsense. So, Buffalo travels to L.A. To a very battered and beaten Chargers team. I'm considering benching Austin Eckler. Is that bad, Cory? I don't know what is going on with these guys.
They're not even starting Herbert, right? Herbert's out?
No, Herbert's injured. He's out. I think he's done for the season. Like, why would you put him back in there?
The game's over. It's already happened.
Ridiculous, dude. And the Bills are coming in hot. But this is a kind of trap game for the Bills. They're coming in hot as hell, and the Chargers are as cold as it gets. So there is that.
Yeah, but also remember, this is their first game with the new head coach.
True. And there's interviewing head coach coming in, getting the boys fired up. Eli Manning said it best.
I'm still going Bills.
Yeah, same.
You got to back up with an interim head coach. I don't know. It could be, but I don't think so.
No, not likely. Anyway, moving on from this one. Not much to say there.
Well, Dan, did
Bills.
You go?
Bills sorry, well? Dan. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Bills myself. Like I said before, they're one of the teams that are getting hot at the right time. We try to write them off all year, and they hang around, and here we go.
I kind of always assumed they'd be in the playoffs. They were always just dangerous enough to be annoying. Like, they kept having the close losses, and the Eagles kept having the close wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Well, moving on, we got the Colts traveling to Atlanta. I love this because the Colts are semi-hot right now. It would be great if they could have another loss to Atlanta and put them out of the playoffs. I'm definitely taking the Colts for this one. Gardner Minshew's been balling out. I think they get Jonathan Taylor back for this game too, which would be huge, seeing as they just lost Zach Moss. But just running out of running backs down there in Indianapolis is crazy. But they are going to rally and I think beat a completely crazy Falcons team. I don't know what is going on down there, but please keep Arthur Smith as your head coach. Do it. Don't listen to these Falcons fans. Keep him. He's a great coach. You guys should absolutely keep him. But I think Taylor Heineke's getting the start for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Indy myself. They've looked good. They're in a thick of a division race at this point with Jacksonville's loss and Titans winning. It's in Houston hanging in there too. They have the pieces to work. They just got to capitalize on what's going on. We said this a couple weeks ago. Atlanta is one of the more inconsistent teams all year, so we kind of never know what we're going to get out of them. But I'm going Indy myself.
Take it. Good call.
Yeah. No, Gardner Minshew, he's just too handsome to not win.
Let's hope so. Let's get it done, the Colts, and it's going to put them in a really great position down there in the NFC South, as Dan mentioned. They're putting up some numbers, man. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming whenever Richardson went down this early. I mean, they were drafting early enough to even get Richardson, so the fact that they're winning so many games like this is so impressive. Having a season down there.
Well, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what, like you said, like the team's doing very well without him.
Yeah.
So what are they going to be able to do with him next year?
Well, dude, I think then you got to go backup because there's a strong chance this kid's going to get injured again.
There's such a weird.
I mean, they have
Minshew, but are they going to be able to hang on to Minshew?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, a lot of people are not believing any of these backups are going to get jobs next year. I guess we'll see.
But was it 2 years ago that they had like 11 Pro Bowlers and still didn't make the playoffs?
Yeah. Maybe. Yep.
So they had like a solid core of guys. They're just missing like a couple pieces, and it seems that those pieces are, falling into place now.
That's a good point. Absolutely. Well, is anyone taking the Falcons for that one? No, we already discussed that. No.
Nope.
I think I heard Stephen copying this.
That's absolutely not true. So we got the Seattle Seahawks, a little hot right now, going against the Titans, who are, that team that's possible to pick against. Although we did get it right this last week, I think, Dan. But either way, I think the Seahawks are going to take this one as well. Drew Lock is playing some good football right now. I'm fully on the Drew Lock train. Want to see this guy succeed. And yeah, I think the boys are playing hard for him right now. Jillian Love back there in the secondary is playing some really good football as well. So I think they got
another
this one.
team that just so good the quarterback doesn't matter too much.
Apparently.
Yeah, and I think Will Levis will be out for this game. So Tannehill would be starting. Yeah. I haven't read a report today, but from what I was hearing from some people on Monday was that the Tannehill might be starting this week.
Which is not a terrible thing if you're the Titans trying to win a game right now, because I think brings in a change-up that maybe the Seahawks aren't ready for. He's a good veteran. He's proven it before. Who knows? I'm still not changing my pick, but it's interesting.
Who was the quarterback they took last year? Malik Willis. Is he still on their roster?
Yeah.
Did he get cut? Is he third string at this point?
I think he's third string.
Practice squad?
Third string. Makes sense.
Okay. They got to be getting
rid
of him soon.
Seahawks myself.
They drafted him in the third round, so he can't be too expensive.
Yeah.
No.
He seems like a guy you just kind of keep around, try to train him up.
True.
Because I remember the talk about him was like he had really high upside, but was like unrefined, and I think that's why he dropped so far.
Also, apparently Tannehill refused to train with him.
Oh shit! Really?
Weird. I remember.
Yeah,
well, he said in the interview like it's not my job.
Yeah, he said it's not my job to mentor him. But then, like, he was getting flack that he said he would mentor Will Levis this year.
Oh, well, I guess his perspective changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, one of them's black and one of them's white.
God, Cory, you can't say this. Oh, wow, you just ruined the show, Cory.
I mean, look.
Just calling the guy out.
Damn.
He beat me to it. So
We were all thinking it, but no one was gonna say it until you just ruined it, Corey. So
Ruined
that
it, man.
happened.
Just
but
calling things what
I
they
mean,
are. How dare I?
but, but
You know
let's
what,
be
Rose?
honest here. Like, let's be honest here. The Titans are a team that's about to get torn apart. Derrick Henry's on his way out. Tannehill can't be staying there much longer. Like, they're about to go through a giant rebuild. So, how much is it worth investing in what they're doing outside of probably like Will Levis and a couple other young key pieces, because they probably won't be there next year.
Where do you think Hopkins will go? Or do you think
Yeah.
he just stays there to die?
I don't know.
We
Who
maybe are
knows?
getting too deep into the Titans. We got to move on.
We gotta move on.
Seattle's gonna win. Take that, Titans, you bunch of losers.
Yeah, we gotta move on. We got Detroit Lions traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. Interesting game here. Still gotta go the Lions here. I think they got back on track. Hopefully, I know they're on the road, but hopefully they're okay with that and can still play some good football because they're totally capable of winning this game. Nothing against Nick Mullins, but I don't think he can beat Detroit if Detroit plays like how they should.
It's also like cold team going to cold team, whereas like the Cowboys got wrecked by the Bills because it was like Texas weather going to Buffalo. It's like a big temperature shock.
Well,
Whereas this is cold
I
team to
mean,
cold team. I think they should be fine.
to me, that doesn't matter in this situation because they both play in domes.
That's fair.
So it's like when they go to Green Bay or they go to Chicago, I think that's a bigger issue for them.
That's their competitive edge.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But no, I agree. Lions got back on track. Huge win, especially for how Denver was playing lately. So, yeah, I don't see Nick Mullins doing anything special.
I agree. I think Lions hold on.
All right. Well, NFC North matchup going unanimously Lions. I don't think we've really disagreed about anything so far, guys. What a nice little smooth
Pretty.
podcast, right?
I mean, if you look at the percentages, they're like 70s, 80s. I mean, I picked the Steelers. I don't think either of you guys are picking the Steelers. But
this one, oh yeah.
That's more me
I think
picking
that
with
was
my
the only
heart.
one.
Well, this one should be interesting, guys. We got Commanders traveling to the Jets. This is not a easy one to pick. But a lot of people are definitely going Jets here. Reason I think I'm leaning Commanders is that they put in Jacoby Brissett, and he looked decent. Now, if they roll with that again, that's good. Either way, Sam Howell's still a good quarterback. Like, we've praised him on this show before, so, I don't think he's the issue. But either way, I think the Commanders have, for some reason, more upside because of all this, even though they've traded away half of their defense. I don't know what the heck is going on with that Jets offense. What are we getting week to week? Are we going to get murder Zach, fucking Mel Slayer Zach Wilson, or are we going to get timid Zach Wilson? We don't know. So
I mean, I'm taking the Jets on this one because I think the Jets have the worst offense, but I think the Commanders have the worst defense, and it's really that the Jets defense is capable of winning this game for them.
That's a good point.
I think both of these teams are if you look at the Commanders overall, not a great team. Jets overall good team. Neither team has a quarterback, which is why neither of them are really thriving right now. But overall, like you said, the defense of the Jets, the skill positions of the Jets, outside of Scary Terry, I think the Jets are the better team. The quarterback situation is a little sketchy, and that is the most important position, but you can't base the whole game off that one guy,
Yeah, maybe the Coug Hunter gets it on track and throws a couple deep balls.
You guys might convince me. I might switch to the Jets for now, just because you never know. You might get Mel Slayer, Zach Wilson, and he is capable of playing good football when he does that. So I don't know. That's a good point about their defense is just so good right now, and I do love defense. So Packers, Carolina. Should be another really cheap game to go watch there in North Carolina if you're in the area, people. Although
Yeah,
probably
maybe.
not, because Packers fans travel really damn well.
They
But
do.
I think they are going to get back on track with this game because they have to, Dan. They have to get back on track, and it is the Panthers. I know they just pulled off a win against Atlanta, but that was with 9 points. So as long as you score 10, I
Yeah,
think you can win this game.
I think we get back on track. And I mean, there's not much to say. There, apparently today they had a meeting where everybody just had an open forum to discuss whatever. Curious to see how that goes. I don't think they looked
You're
overall.
breaking up there a little bit.
It was just
Are
a
you
couple
back?
questions. I said they didn't look that bad against Tampa. It was just a couple of questionable play
No.
calls here and there, but all in all, I don't think Carolina's going to put together anything that Green Bay, in theory, should not have an issue with.
Agreed. I don't think Bryce Young is going to be too scary. What do you think, Cory?
Uh, no, I'm definitely taking Green Bay. And it'd be a team they wouldn't have gone eliminated this early.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a quick synopsis there from Cory, and we will take that here. You know, we're not here to waste your time. We're gonna get right to the point. Carolina can't win this game. We don't think, but we'll see because we were wrong last week when we predicted them to lose against the Falcons. Anyway, we got Houston. We got the Browns. Now I might have to go back to this one because I'm assuming CJ Stroud can come back for this game, but I'm not sure. He's out for this one for sure.
I've heard he should be out for this game.
All right. Well, then in that case, we got to go Browns because Joe Flacco's flying right now.
Flacco's
and
doing
whatever
some stuff, man.
Sam Mills was good last week, but it's just not enough to beat Joe Flacco right now. He senses the playoffs. He senses a second ring, Dan. He senses true elitism.
He's not, but Case Keenum did more damage last week than Mills did, or Miles did. But yeah, I think it's a far better defense that the Browns have than the Titans have. That Houston went up against last week, and Flacco's been playing well in retrospect. Sure, he has a handful of interceptions, but he's trying to learn a new system on the fly, so things are bound to happen.
He's got so many weapons.
Did you see he's already skyrocketing to second favorite to win comeback player of the year?
That's awesome.
Behind DeMar Hamlin.
Wow.
DeMar Hamlin's just getting that.
Which Joe Flacco said, I don't even know what constitutes someone's qualification of a comeback. He was like, I was at home driving my kids to the bus stop.
Good times. Cory, what do you think about this one? And yeah, sorry, Casey Keenum. Forgot that you played and won that one. But killer, Casey Keenum. I think he was 3-0 every time he played us with various different teams, not 4-0. I don't think we ever beat Casey Keenum. Crazy bastard. What do you got for score?
Going Browns. I mean, if CJ Stroud was in, I would take the Texans, but with him out, I think Tank Dell is out.
Tank Dell's out for the season.
Two big splash
Nico
rookies
Collins
they had that were
questionable.
making this team so dominant. They're both out, so.
And Nico Collins is also questionable.
And like you said, Joe Flacco is he's doing stuff right now.
Doing some stuff, Dan. Some elite stuff, some would say. Moving on, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are hosting another Florida team.
Bad things.
With the Jacksonville Jaguars. I can see why people are picking the Jaguars. Get back on track game for Trevor Lawrence. He looked a little, shaky. Wrong, people! Tampa Bay taking this one, baby. We are hosting the Jaguars. We're going to send them right back home with a loss, Cory. Let me tell you. Go back to Jacksonville. Bucks are flying right now. Baker Mayfield is bacon, baby. And we are going to
Well,
produce ourselves a fine ass win and be in the driver's seat to take the whole division after the Saints lose too. It's going to be great.
well, Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's cleared yet for Sunday.
True, that is also a thing.
I think he's still in concussion protocol.
100%.
So if he's out,
interesting. Who's their backup?
CJ Beathard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he's
I have no
out,
idea who that is.
It's Tampa all the way. CJ Beathard had like a quick flash in the pan moment in San Francisco a couple years ago as their quarterback. But,
remember how San Francisco loves to run through different quarterbacks, Cory?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was one of those guys who popped in there briefly and had some glory and then moved on with his life.
Good for him.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're taking, that's a fair synopsis. But even with Trevor Lawrence in there, man, I believe in these Bucks. They're on fire right now. What do you think, Cory?
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been making a lot of uncharacteristic errors over the last couple of weeks.
Well, because I think he's not fully healthy right now, and especially if he comes back from concussion, all delusional, his ankle still doesn't feel good. It's gonna be a tough day at the office for him, I think, with Clash Kansas coming right up the middle.
I think I didn't know that he was out, so I'm switching my pick to Tampa just because, without
he's questionable. He's not out. He's questionable.
Well, we'll see. I'd rather. I'm Tampa for now.
Let's go, baby. All right, moving on from a Florida matchup to a Arizona versus Illinois matchup. The Bears are hot. The Cardinals are not really, but they do have Kyle Murray. You know who's hot over there? Trey McBride's hot over there. Dude's balling out right now in his second year. Cool to see. I still got the Bears for this one. You know, I think they should have won last week on that crazy ass Hail Mary. And I think they're playing some inspired football here towards the end of the stretch.
Is Justin Fields back? He's got to be, right?
Justin Fields is back, yeah. He's back in there. Back in there doing Justin
Cardinals
Fields things.
Cardinals are so weird, man. They beat good teams and lose to everybody else. I don't get it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that's weird. So, like, they are a weird wild card for this one, but I still got to believe in the Bears.
But, the Bears aren't, one of those really good dominant teams that the Cardinals would beat. So,
they're like a middle of the road team.
Yeah.
And they're at home, too. You know, you think they can handle this. They got Trey McBride, so shut him down. And seriously,
that's another.
Name a wide receiver from the Cardinals right now. Am I crazy? I really don't.
Oh, Hollywood Brown? Is he over there?
Oh, yeah. Hollywood Brown's over there. Okay, so. All right, yeah. Okay, cool.
So, hot take, is the Chicago, is that a dome? Because that's a desert team coming to the fucking bitter cold. So,
yeah, Soldier
that's
Field
another
is definitely
advantage.
not a dome.
Yeah,
Soldier
Field's open. It was built in like 1920. So.
Okay, then I'm thinking Bears. Just coming from the desert into Illinois winter is definitely not going to be comfortable for these guys.
I like Cory coming in with the weather factor on these games.
Dude, it's a thing for me. This is my first year in the States, and these winters, let me tell you, it affects stuff. It's not as comfortable as you would think.
Absolutely affects things. It does, Cory.
Were you not accurately prepared for that?
I mean, I had a winter coat and stuff, but it's still even with the winter coat, shit's cold. You got to have your hands in your pockets or and whatnot.
Yeah, they don't get it, Cory, because they've never experienced nice 70-degree weather like every single day. So
look, Steven was like,
all right.
I need a hot chocolate on Sunday.
Would have been great, but there was no places to buy it there. The only one who sold me cold beer. And I was like, I'm already cold. I don't need to use this cold beer.
I will say the one Jets game I saw in the fall time, it was super cold and the beer was just cold the entire time. It was bittersweet because it was cold beer, but it was also but it's so cold out here already.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's for sure. That's a great synopsis. But yeah, no, Dan, you wouldn't understand good weather, so I'm sorry that that's how your life is, and you don't understand why we get cold when we're in this crazy cold weather. Anyway, moving on. We got the Dallas Cowboys. We got the Miami Dolphins. This is an interesting game,
what
Cory.
am I looking at?
Yeah, it is. And he's also wearing his Bucks sunglasses because we had a bet.
Hey, I told you I'd pay up.
Oh yeah, who we got there? That's number 8, Steve Young.
It is a Steve Young jersey, yeah.
That's beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah. So Dan lost the bet. Man of his word. Love to see it.
I had a couple
Cowboys.
options.
Cowboys, Dolphins. Great choice. Steve Young. Not a lot of people knew that he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have a tradition of drafting quarterbacks that go on to go do some other stuff for other teams that's much better than what we did. So we'll have James Winston win a Super Bowl. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I also considered Trent Dilfer and Vinny Testaverde.
Well, then you made the right choice. What was
Along
the
with
Hall of Famer?
Along with JoJo Vicious.
Your dad was loyal. JoJo Vicious is a solid pickup. That's a coveted jersey right there.
Oh no, those are mine. These are all my old ones from growing up with my dad.
Love it.
Much, man.
Love it. All right, so Cowboys, Dolphins, guys. Cory might have to bail out of here, so we'll let him do his Cowboys one, and then he can leave us to go into the world. Cory, what do you think? Can your Cowboys get this done?
Well, they have to. Like, it's going to be a fun game regardless of what happens because they're two really high scoring teams. And both defenses sometimes just decide to take days off. So I think the Cowboys are really, there's two teams. They just wear the same jersey, so it's confusing to tell which team it is before the game happens. But there's the Cowboys that blow people out, and then there's the Cowboys that show up hungover and don't score any points. So if we get the good Cowboys, it's all under control. If we get the bad ones, then it's gonna be a rough game. But you can never bet against your own team. So yeah, I'm going Dallas.
Let's go, baby. I'm also taking the Cowboys for this one. Kind of like Cory mentioned, there's two very different teams, but the very good Cowboys team, I think, might be better than a very good Dolphins team that might be lacking Tyreek Hill right now. Also, man, they're just so inconsistent against good teams as well. Like, they are another story of the season of just not being good against good teams. So, interesting test for both teams, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Dolphins myself. On ESPN, at least for the game preview, they don't have Tyreek Hill listed on their injured list, so maybe he's worked his way out of that. But yeah, I think Dolphins, like, if they're a healthy team. They're a hard team to beat.
Agreed. Well, Cory, appreciate you coming on. As always, people, make sure you like and subscribe to see more of Cory's beautiful face here. Any last words for the people while me and Dan wrap this up?
I feel like I've said this on this show before, but it doesn't have to be Tuesday to eat tacos.
It is worth mentioning again. Absolutely.
Just gotta remind the people.
Gotta remind the people. Absolutely. Thanks for popping in, Cory.
Yep. Later, guys.
Later. Moving on. We got the Denver Broncos hosting the New England Patriots, Daniel. Now, this ought to be interesting. Bill Belichick out there just kind of, is he checked out? Is he really focused up? Cooper only knows. But me, I think Denver has to win this game, if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. So I think Russell Wilson and the boys get it done. Let's ride, baby.
Yeah, I think they bounce back from the Detroit game. I mean, all in all, they put up some decent stuff in the Detroit game, but I just, the way the Patriots have been playing the last couple weeks, they look marginally better against Kansas City, so that's a little bit of a promising sign. But all in all, they're just very inconsistent. So,
agreed. Well, yeah, no, I don't think the Patriots got this. Moving on, we got the Chiefs hosting the Raiders. This game starts at 12 p.m. It's crazy because I guess that's Christmas or whatever. So yeah,
they have a triple header on Christmas.
Wrong thing. But yeah, so we got a triple header going on. I'm taking the Chiefs for this one. They're at home. The Raiders can't get it done against really good teams. They smash teams like the Chargers apparently, but against a good team like the Chiefs, who need this win to kind of stay alive for a couple of different things. They need even for just the NFC West title that's suddenly kind of in jeopardy with the Broncos kind of chasing them. They need this win, so I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, Chiefs will take care of business. There's not much to say there.
No, but Aiden O'Connell's mustache, amazing. Did you see on Fantasy Sleepers they changed his profile pic to this like guard with a perfect mustache? He's an actor. Anyway, look it up, guys. Really quality content right there. Eagles are hosting the Giants. What's the word? Is Tommy DeVito injured for this game? Is he in? It's kind of still concussion protocol with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're monitoring him, but again, he's not showing up on the ESPN injured report for the preview, so maybe he cleared everything.
Who's the third string at this point? Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor is their best. Yeah, because that's who they put in when he got hurt towards the end of that game last time.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm going Eagles in this one, dude. They got to figure their lives out at some point, and this seems like a get right game for them.
Yeah, they have Giants and Cardinals to end the season. These are really 3 must-win games for them at this point.
Yeah, you just gotta look better going into the playoffs, and I think Jalen Hurts wants to prove to the world that he's not a bad quarterback. So I believe in him. I think they'll figure it out. Let's move on, Dan, to the last game of the evening, which is a fucking banger, man. We got the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Ravens. 2 best teams in the NFL probably right now, going head-to-head. It just doesn't get any better than that. Christmas evening. Wow. Maybe we should try to live record this or something. Either way, great matchup. I am going for the 49ers here. I think I've mentioned it on the show before. I do think they are the best team in the NFL. These are the 2 best, I believe, but I think they're the best right now. It's going to be a tight game, though, man. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers myself, but the Ravens defense, it'll be interesting to see how they can keep McCaffrey, Samuel, Purdy in check. But the Ravens offense does have some holes in it. They did look good against Jacksonville. Jacksonville was a little bit banged up there. So I mean, it's and the 49ers defense is no slouch either. So I mean, all around, we're like you said, we're looking at the top teams in each respective conference squaring off at that close to the end of the season.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. Huge playoff implications in this game. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up then, Dan. It's just been another beautiful episode of Pick'em. People, thank you for liking and commenting on our content and following us on the many social media platforms, which are now flying across the bottom of our screen. You got to love it. Dan, do you have any final words to these fine people at Sports by Champion?
It's okay if you suck at gift giving because I hate it. I put too much concern in it. So be confident in what you get.
Be confident in what you get for your friends and family. They'll love it. It's a thought that counts. Also, I'll say
I got you a rock, Steven.
Perfect gift. That's exactly what I needed. Here in Rockford, we don't have enough rocks.
No, not at all. It's it has nothing to do with the name.
We don't have any rocks whatsoever. We're completely out. So that's perfect timing. I did want to say one thing out there. Look, man, if you're one of those athletes that's right there on the cusp and, you do have some good natural talent, know that you can work hard and still get into the NFL because some of these naturally gifted people are fucking lazy and you can come take their position. So that should motivate you. Get after it, man. When you see terrible film like this in the NFL, it should motivate you as an athlete to be like, great, I can go take this loser's job because he doesn't want it. Go ahead.
Make sure to make your blocks.
Yeah, don't put that kind of film out there if you're an NFL wide receiver. Sports by Compion, out.